Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, and Threads will finally feel like one system.
Imagine if that happened if everything's in one place. I'm locked out of everything. That would be a total nightmare.
2026 is the year we stop seeing smart glasses as a niche tech and start seeing them on commuters, cyclists, and in cafes everywhere.
And so we've always been fascinated as humans of kind of technology turning on us.
After a decade of promise, AI in drug discovery just had its eureka moment.
I mean, I hope it doesn't kill anyone, but maybe it's too late for that. I don't know.
Hello and welcome to episode 105 of Disconnected. I'm your host, Jag Sharma, based out of Hong Kong, joined by my co-hosts Felina Tan in London and Matt Webster in Rio de Janeiro. And together, we'll be delving into the world of AI, tech and social media and how it's impacting society and culture. Coming up, it's prediction season. For 2 episodes back to back, we'll be putting on our tinfoil hats, looking into a crystal ball and making predictions for the tech year ahead in 2026. In the last episode, we delved into predictions with Jen and Jason. But we're back for more, and it's the main event with Matt and Felina. I hold the crown for the past 2 years running with the most accurate predictions. But will I hold on to the crown for another year? Today, and in the last episode, we make our predictions. And then in December, we will come back to hold ourselves accountable and to see if what we said came to pass. Guys, it's that time of year again. Getting over the holiday hangovers, putting on our thinking caps. Prediction season 2026. Are you ready?
I think, Jack, you gotta be ready for Mystic Meg to dethrone you.
Yeah, I bought the brand license for Mystic Meg, so I'm actually going to be called Mystic Meg for this episode. It cost me a fortune, so please refer to me as Mystic Meg TM throughout. Or Matt, it's okay.
I hope your predictions are more Mystic Meg rather than Septic Peg. But let's...
Love it. Yes.
But you know what? Let's get into it, guys. So hopefully we're going to get 3 predictions each from you and 2 from me. Let's see if we can get through them all. And you know what? I will kick us off. So my first prediction for today, smart glasses will get their moment. Remember Google Glass? The glass holes era? Well, forget it, because in 2026, smart glasses are finally going mainstream. I'm predicting shipment numbers will more than double than in last year, smashing through 10 million units globally. This is the tipping point. The tech has caught up. We've got sleek designs from Meta and Ray-Ban that you'd actually want to wear. The AI inside has become genuinely useful. Real-time translation, navigational cues whispered in your ear, identifying what you're looking at. They're moving from gimmick to genuine assistant. And the big players are all in. Meta's leading the charge, but with Google, Snap, and the ever-present rumors of Apple lurking, the competition will fuel insane innovation. We're talking better batteries, seamless 5G, and maybe even models with built-in displays hitting the market. The always-on camera anxiety is being addressed. The use cases in both our personal and professional lives are crystallizing. This year, 2026, is the year we stop seeing smart glasses as a niche tech and start seeing them on commuters, cyclists, and in cafes everywhere. The face for the next frontier, and the invasion begins in earnest this year. So my specific prediction is that shipment numbers will smash through 10 million units globally. Last year, 2025, the shipment numbers were 5.1 million. So I am saying that shipment numbers will double. In fact, I will say more than double. So it has to be more than 10.2 million units globally in 2026. That is my specific prediction. What do you guys think?
The real question is, have you bought yourself one, Jag?
I was in John Lewis over Christmas. I saw the Meta stand, and that's when it came to me, Felina. I was like, okay, if these Meta Ray-Bans have made it to John Lewis with a dedicated salesperson there ready to help me try it out and everything, it's going to happen. My only comment is that it couldn't translate Chinese. So,
oh no!
So you didn't buy it. You just did a
No.
politician. You just did a politician's answer. She asked you to buy it, and you went round John Lewis and basically said no.
John Lewis is a great store. I'll go around John Lewis anytime.
It is. Hold on. So you're not going to be contributing to the 10.1 or 10.2 million sales, like units sold for this year, because you're not going to buy one.
Then, so it's I think it's nearly there for me.
Okay.
I'm kind of entering my phase of life where I'm starting to be a little bit more sensible with my money after all these years. You know, when I look in my bank account and I'm like, where's all my years of work? Because it's not reflective in my bank account. And so I just have to be a little bit more careful.
So if, let's say, the operating system for these Meta Ray-Ban glasses include the live translation of, let's say, Cantonese to English, let's say this rolls out June 2026. So you'll be saying that then the next day you'll be out buying the glasses.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Then I'll know what my
Okay.
wife says when she's talking about me to other people. Slip on the glasses, have a little listen.
I don't think this.
Nice.
I don't think this is going to happen, Jag. I'm sorry. I know you've got the crown, so I don't want to attack the king. If you come for the king, you better not miss. But I can't do this. I can't say yes to this because I'm just affected by the past. So I remember I used to run this YouTube kind of series called "Are You Not Entertained?" And one of the videos I did, I interviewed someone, and we were talking about Snapchat's glasses. Do you remember those round Snapchat? And the ad was lots of kids.
I had a
doing
pair.
Yeah.
You had a pair,
I had
right?
a
So
pair.
lots of kids
I loved them.
skateboarding and
Loved them.
You loved them. The rest of the world didn't. I mean, where are they now? I mean, they died a death in the UK almost as soon as they came out, apart from people like you.
Because
buying them.
the charging case died. That's why it stopped.
Oh my God.
So it did literally die a death.
Yeah. So why didn't they revamp the charging case, and why we're not in like series 10 of? Because I'm talking like I did that video. When did it come out? 2011, something like that. And the final thing I want to say is a reason, and this is not a scientific reason, is that whenever you say glasses, Google glasses or intelligent glasses, I just picture Bill Gates. You know, Bill Gates. If you just type in Bill Gates into Google, and it's just like a middle-aged man with the crappy glasses. And
Yeah.
I don't want to look like Bill Gates. Sorry. So,
Maybe they might come out with new designs, new shapes. Although I have to say though, I'm with Mystic Meg on this one. Nah, not for me, Jag, not for me. But I guess never say never, you know. Then yeah, you'll be the one laughing at us if come December time, the sales happen.
Never say never. Come for the king. You better not miss. I love all these boxing tropes. For clarifications, I think the first generation of Snap Spectacles, I recall them, they're around 2016. Because I remember buying them from the Snap vending machine near the London Eye. And you mentioned, Matt, why they've not done 6 generations. They've done 5 generations. The 5th generation was launched in September 2024.
September
agree with you.
2024.
It's not.
I mean, I've
Yeah,
not
the
heard of
5th
I've not heard
generation
of them
was.
since 2016. The sale. I mean, I'm probably not the target audience, but wow, I didn't realize. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe he's right.
Maybe I am. And also, there's no John Lewis in Rio de Janeiro, so you didn't experience what I experienced when I tested out those Meta Ray-Bans and the various designs they come in. I'm saying they're going to double what they shipped. All smart glasses in total are going to double what they shipped compared to last year. So we're looking at 10 million, 10.2 million at least. Let's see. But let's move on. And you know what? Let's get Felina's first prediction.
Okay. So, I want to say that all of my predictions for today are focused on removing mental load from humans. That's the general theme of all my predictions. So, prediction number one for me is all meta messages will be centralized or in one place. What that means is Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, and Threads will finally feel like one system. So you'll be able to see and reply to the same conversations across all of those apps instead of jumping between them and seeing a different thread of messages. So that's what I'm hoping for. The thing is, I know that there are people out there who love separate threads or separate streams of messages for a specific channel. So maybe Meta might actually give you the choice to opt in and keep the messaging separate, or streamline them into one central system if you prefer. So that means every single time if you open your Instagram DMs, let's say I've been DMing Jag memes, that will also show up on WhatsApp as well. So you can remind yourself, oh yeah, this is what we talked about. I don't know if this will happen, but I want it to happen just because sometimes it's so difficult to keep your conversations, intact across all the different channels. And given that Meta is monopolizing loads of apps that we use on our phone, it would just make it easier. So that's my prediction. Don't know what you guys think, but I want it.
When you say there'll be an option to go all in one place, when you said that, my ears pricked up, and I was like, yeah, that would be kind of cool, actually. But to just kind of force it on everyone, a couple of problems that I think about straight away is, I've got a couple of mates, and all they do, their love language with me is to send me memes and videos on Instagram DMs. Like, that's it. That's the way that we communicate. And I know that if I go there, that's where I'll find all the memes and all and everything from those guys, which can be fun, but also can be quite annoying because it's a lot. So if those and the
like
thing
spam.
And if those spammed memes, they're coming from a good place, when they're in Instagram, I can keep them boxed into Instagram. So I know I don't need to go there because otherwise I'll get memeified. But if I can't ignore them and they're always there, that would annoy me a little bit. Plus, I've also had an issue with Meta. So I have a Facebook and Instagram account that are connected. However, I've been permanently pushed out of my Facebook account because I made a mistake. I set up two-step verification, decided to use codes instead of a phone number, and then accidentally deleted my code generator on my phone. So now I'm permanently locked out of my Facebook account. So imagine if I got permanent, but I've still got access to my old Instagram. Imagine if that happened, if everything's in one place, I'm locked out of everything. That would be a total nightmare. So I don't want it to happen. Sorry. I hope you're not right.
Okay. Oh my God. Jag, what do you think?
He's not locked out of his Facebook. He just used that as an excuse because he's been avoiding my friend request for months now. He thought he'd formalize it on the pod.
Dude, I wish I was that. I wish I was that evil.
I'm joking. I don't send friend requests on Facebook. I haven't for years. But anyway, do you know what, Felina? It's not going to happen.
Oh my God!
But for different reasons, and there's two ways I'll prove it to you. If you Google image search Messenger logo, two logos come up. One that is a faded purple, similar to the Instagram colors, and one that is blue. And then if you have Messenger installed on your mobile device, you'll notice that the logo is blue. They changed last year from the funky, almost Instagram color logo back to the blue logo because they'd given up on their ambitions to combine all the Messenger platforms. And why did they give up? They gave up because of that wonderful place called the EU. The EU have it's a regulatory hurdle, and essentially it just basically makes it very, very complicated, and it's to do with privacy concerns, the whole thing around competition and all that other stuff. So
No, but they're all under the same organization. They're all owned by Meta Inc.
keeping platforms separate allows Meta to maintain distinct user bases, control features, and fend off regulatory actions that are pushing them to be more open and have different standards.
Boo! Boo!
Jag, have you just outed yourself as a Brexiteer?
No, I said that wonderful place, the EU.
Yeah, it's just the tone and delivery was a little bit sus. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, we both fit the mold because we're both British passport holders that don't live in Britain. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like we want to see the place burn, but we don't want to be there and live through it. You know?
True, but I've never managed to actually say that on one of these podcasts. So yeah, thanks for outing me as well.
Wow. Wow. I didn't say I'm not a Brexiteer, but anyway. There we go.
Okay,
Wow.
well, I would love to prove everyone wrong, but I guess, maybe I should have done my homework a little bit more and notice the changes in the logo. I actually never realized until you said about the purple and the blue. I always thought it was blue the whole time. But yeah.
Well, it might happen, and you know what? Because if it does happen, I'll give you bonus points because no one believed in you. No one believed in you. And you were the little engine that could. And you went up that mountain.
Hey, you know what? If the prediction is correct, I would expect that you will be delivering some Ray-Ban Meta glasses to me.
To myself.
Or you could just give her Generation 1 Snap spectacles.
No, absolutely not. That's like recycling bin.
What? Might be worth something one day.
Mystic Meg.
Yes, let's move on, Matt.
Okay, yes, Mystic Meg. So let me take you back to 1984, because in 1984 I watched a movie called Runaway, and Tom Selleck stars in it as a cop in the future, right? Tom Selleck.
Hang on. In 1984, you watched a movie?
I did.
In 1984?
Yeah, I did. And I remember watching E.T. in the cinema in 1984. And I went to the cinema to watch Back to the Future in 1985. So this was actually...
Was this in a previous life?
No, right. So Runaway came out in 1984, but I watched it in my living room when I was a kid. So it was probably about 1986, 1987, right? I was a kid and I watched this movie. It's Tom Selleck. He's a cop in the future. And he has to chase after robots because there are home care robots in the future. And they suddenly start turning on their owners and slicing them up and taking the it's set in America, so taking the gun out of the gun cabinet and blowing away everyone in the house. It scared the living shit out of me, this film. And then obviously fast forward a couple more years, you had Terminator 1, then Terminator 2. And so we've always been fascinated as humans of kind of technology turning on us. But it started with Runaway because they were home robots that started murdering their owners. So there's a little bit of a full-on introduction, but I think in 2026, we'll see the first step towards that scenario of the Tom Selleck movie filmed in 1984. Because I think a home robot, either a Neo by 1X, I know Optimus isn't available for everyone, the new Tesla robot, but I expect it will be by the middle of this year. Or maybe some lunatic tech guy gets hold of an Atlas robot from Boston Dynamics and has it in his house or her house. So my prediction is by December 2026, there'll be a serious physical event. Serious physical harm will come to a human inside of their private home. So as a result, I think it'll get a lot of news. There'll be a complete recall, total recall of the product. There'll be new regulations. The EU, Jag, will probably be all over that in terms of, you probably have to get a license. You'll probably have to, it will be the home robot. People will realize it's as dangerous as having a car rather than just having a toaster. So things will change. So it's a little bit dark, but that's because we're kind of obsessed with this kind of this kind of topic as humans, aren't we? When will the tech turn on us? Cyberdyne systems and Skynet and all that. So unfortunately, this for me is a prediction by this year. We're going to start heading towards that direction of having to protect ourselves from the technology that we've created physically. What do you guys think?
Okay, I'm going to pass over the fact that I'm surprised that you were watching movies in 1985. We'll save your age for another day, but just shocked in a very pleasant way, in the sense that I thought you were much, much younger.
How do I take that?
I thought you were young and successful, but now you're just successful.
Oh my
That's
God.
amazing. Please use that quote.
But okay, we'll also skip over the fact that you mentioned Tom Selleck and you didn't explain who he is to Felina, because I don't know if Felina knows.
I had to
Tom
Google.
Selleck.
I had to.
Wait, the best way to describe it
And
to
then she's like,
Felina.
"Oh, Monica's boyfriend."
Exactly, Monica's boyfriend.
Yeah, that when I Googled it, I was like, oh, him.
Oh, okay, so we'll skip over those two, but it reminded me of Robert Williams. You mentioned years. Robert Williams, who's 25, Ford Motor Company, 1979, first human killed by a robot in the Ford factory, somewhere in the US, probably Detroit. And it was a big deal at the time, first human to be killed by a robot, but that's industrial. You're talking about in a private residence in the home. It's a bold prediction. I'll give you that. It's a bold prediction because if we remember the movie I, Robot, I'm not going to comment on how good or bad it was. It's a movie. But if you remember the movie I, Robot, they try to cover it up whenever there was a fatality in the home. So for it to happen and for it to make the news as well, because we have to know about it, but it's a bold prediction. I don't know. Do you know what? I'm really happy, Matt, that you've made a bold prediction, because those other two jokers on episode 104 were incredibly safe and put in caveat after caveat, I think because they've been in this game a bit longer. But I'm really proud of the bold prediction, and if it comes true, bonus points for you.
I think it could happen because I saw a video the other day. It wasn't a home robot. It was actually a robot dog. And there's this influencer named Christy Sarah who is the lifestyle influencer. Anyway, she got this robot dog for Christmas and she walked it in the park and things like that. And for whatever reason, when you were talking about your prediction, I just envisioned this robot dog attacking like a human at home, just because of a malfunction issue or whatever. Because this robot dog is the size of, I want to say, a medium golden retriever sort of size. So it's not small. It's not tiny.
Wait, has it got a mouth that can open and close that could actually crush things, or is it just...
I think so. Yeah, it can. And it's got its legs, for whatever reason, look like spider legs. But yeah,
Sounds like a nightmare.
I saw this.
Okay.
So I don't think this is super far-fetched. I think it is actually a pretty decent prediction. It will make the news. And if it does make the news, I can expect there will be hundreds of memes for us to devour when that happens. But yeah, I hope it doesn't kill anyone, but maybe it's too late for that. I don't know.
I want to add a weird angle that may or may not make the cut. So we know how weird and perverted
it's going to be sexual.
Yeah,
it's going to be sexual.
We know how weird and perverted humans can be, right? We know that some of these guys can afford, let's say, Neo, the most affordable one. What if they get injured by practicing some kind of physical act on their home robot that then causes them to be injured? Would that be their fault or the machine's fault? I mean, I'm not a technology lawyer. But that would be an interesting one. And that's probably quite likely to happen because humans are so flipping weird.
It depends what the robot was built to do, That's what it's for. Because if someone has an accident, okay, cotton buds are not meant to be put in your ear. They always write that on the
That's true.
packaging, right? So then if someone damages their hearing from using cotton buds, it's their fault because they weren't meant to use cotton buds to put in their ear. So it depends what the robot's made for.
So I'm hiring you, Jag, if something goes wrong with me and my exploits with my home robot, okay?
I'm not a lawyer, but you can use the cotton bud example. And
no, what I was saying though is, let's take the ridiculous Neo as an example. We saw videos of it opening and closing a dishwasher. That's what it's meant for. But there will be some very strange humans out there that will try and use it for other things. And if they get injured doing that and it gets out into the news, I mean, get ready for Memegeddon. But that's not my prediction. That was just a side shoot. I'll stick with my original. Stick with my original.
If this comes true, though, he will say, hey, actually, that was part of my prediction.
Yeah, it's my unofficial side shoot. Excuse the language use. Yeah.
But it'll never come true out in that way. If someone is injured, they'll be like, oh, I tripped and fell on my Neo. And then this happened. So...
There'll be enough investigative journalists who will get to the bottom of it.
Literally the bottom. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Thanks for that, Matt. It's a really, really bold prediction, and we'll sideline the other one as an unofficial prediction. Moving on, come back to me. So my final prediction for this year's prediction season: Big Pharma's AI acquisition spree. After a decade of promise, AI in drug discovery just had its eureka moment. Specifically in designing protein and antibody therapies. Startups are now generating viable drug candidates entirely in silico on a computer that meet the brutal real-world criteria for stability, manufacturability, and safety. This changes everything, guys. Antibodies are $1 trillion market. And this year, 2026, this progress will trigger a land grab. I predict one of the big global pharma giants, whether it be Pfizer, Merck, Bayer, will acquire a leading protein AI startup. Why? Because partnering isn't enough anymore. The talent behind this tech is astronomically rare and concentrated in a few startups. To own the future, you need to own the AI engine and the brilliant minds that are building it. The recent acquisition by the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative was the starter's pistol. It's no longer about speculative bets. The AI now works, so the strategy shifts from collaboration to consolidation. This year, Big Pharma will get serious about silicon, and a groundbreaking startup gets a life-changing exit. The race for the first AI-designed blockbuster drug will go into hyperdrive. So my specific prediction is that one of the big global pharma giants will acquire a protein AI startup outright. What do you guys think?
100% agree. And I think you could have gone more bold. I think a big company like Bayer or Pfizer or GSK, I think they'll buy a suite. I think it's almost like Netflix and all the little apps or movies that Netflix own. I think that the mega corp will buy more than one, and they'll be under the umbrella of the mega corp. So yeah, definitely agree with that one. And it is amazing that this is happening in our lifetimes, because the science behind medicine technology is going to go astronomical in the next few years, and we're going to be here to see it. It's amazing. I love this one.
I agree with you. I'm glad that we, touch wood, get to live and see it. I do wish I was like 20 years younger though, because I've really messed up my body, guys. I've really messed up my body. So,
it's not too late.
I mean, I wish I was 20 years younger. I'd be 60 again. It'd be amazing. Best years of my life.
Jesus.
Oh.
Hey, you know what? Of all the predictions that we've talked so far in this episode, I would say this one. This one. I think it'll be the number one prediction that will happen. I think so. That's it.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Awesome. Wonderful. Sold from both of you. Let's keep the train moving. And do you know what, Felina? Let's get your next prediction.
Well, I mean, coming off the back of that one, this probably falls like, oh my God, it's going to be like a pancake. Okay, so my second prediction is around groceries being bought by an agent. So most of us don't have assistants or household help. So grocery shopping is obviously still one of those weekly tasks or fortnightly tasks that eats up time and energy. So imagine large retailers like Walmart, Tesco, or even your Ocado will build AI agents directly into their apps. So you set things up once where that includes your usual budget, the meals that you tend to cook, the brands that you like or avoid, and what substitutions you're happy with. After that, your weekly or fortnightly shop runs in the background. So if you always run out of milk by Thursday, it learns that. If chicken is out of stock, it swaps in something similar that you've approved. Let's say tofu, for whatever reason. That's very far from chicken. But yeah, if prices go up 1 week, it adjusts maybe elsewhere to stay within budget. So ultimately, you can still review or tweak orders, but most weeks, there's nothing that you need to do. I think this could work very, very well for people who are specifically responsible for keeping fridges/pantries stocked in workplaces. I think some households will also benefit from it. It would be worth trying, but I do think that it can be a huge time saver for, again, those people who are responsible for keeping fridges and pantries stocked. But yeah, it's very different from subscribe and save, by the way. This is like the entire shop. So yeah, what do you guys think?
So I have a reason why I don't think this will happen. And then on the flip side... Well, no, wait, but there's a flip side. There's a flip side of, I'm being a politician like Jag here, but I can see the other side where this might happen. The reason why I don't think this will happen is, do you remember the Internet of Things? Because years ago, I got invited to a talk at the Magic Circle, which is a weird building in London near the King's Cross, by the way. And I went into the headquarters of the Magic Circle, which was like the cool venue. And a guy got up and spoke for like 2 hours about the Internet of Things and how it was going to change everything. That was 2007. And he was talking about your fridge ordering stuff and it kind of emailing your toaster, which then sends you a DM that, you need to buy some new soft grain sourdough. He was even talking about how this guy, had got connections with Bosch. They were bringing out a washing machine that was going to order your detergent and all this kind of stuff. And obviously it didn't happen. It was all a load of snake oil. It might have happened in a few households in Beverly Hills back in 2010 or Palo Alto or wherever, but it didn't catch on. It didn't work. So for that reason, I'm like, nah, this is not going to happen. But on the flip side, maybe this is the actual right time for this to happen, because before it was just a load of chat and nonsense that nobody was going to buy into. But now that we actually have decent AI, maybe this could happen. So that's why. Okay, I'm going to go yes.
Okay. I think you're right setting up that context, because I know that there are some fridges and washing machines that have Wi-Fi capability. And I don't know why they need Wi-Fi.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't think things like fridges and washing machines need Wi-Fi. But
no.
Thank you for saying yes to this prediction, though. Jag, are you going to jump on the train and think that this is going to happen? Or are you going to be a Debbie Downer and say that this is not going to happen?
I'm going to get around to answering your point, but a quick one on the stuff that connects to the internet. One of my Extractor fans has an app.
Why?
Why?
I can adjust the settings via the app, and I think it's the most pointless thing ever. Why can't they just have a little dial on the Extractor fan? So Anyway, sorry, Felina, back on topic. I'm going to need you to be more specific with your prediction, and I'll explain why. Because, and I'm guessing maybe you mean more. I don't want to guess what you're thinking, so I'll just say why I need you to be more specific.
Okay.
Because AI agents, they're already integrated into the operations of Ocado and Tesco, but we just may not see it. So it's certainly not a mainstream, front-facing, seamless experience.
Yeah.
But for example, Ocado's whole business model is built on AI and automation. They use AI in their warehouse, in their supply chain optimization, and the personalization, the things that they recommend to customers.
I see
AI
what
is
you
being
mean
used.
by specific.
So, yes. So I'd like something more specific.
This needs to be a customer facing feature, right? And what that means is, let's say Ocado, let's say Tesco, let's say Walmart. You have an account with these retailers. When you log in, there's a specific product feature that allows you to get your groceries like set up and essentially fulfilled by an agent. There is a little bit of an onboarding process, a short one that needs to happen, like the things around setting budget, setting like meals you like to cook, talking about brands you like or you avoid. That all needs to happen. But again, this needs to be a customer facing feature that is part of their, I guess, loyalty program or customer account program. It needs to be there because it's not there at the moment. This is personalization, like on the maximum, like hyper personalization, and like taking away the effort of having to put the order in manually. So yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I get it. I accept that. Totally get it. One quick question on it though. Do you think they'll humanize it? Do you think they'll package it as, this is Amelia, and Amelia will do your... I don't know why I picked a feminine name. I apologize to
I told you.
Planet
Look
Earth.
what happens. Look what happens.
I apologize to Planet Earth. There we go. This is Andrew. And Andrew... Amelia just sounds better. Will they package it? Will they humanize it?
I just think when they humanize it like that, give it a name or give it a look and feel, a character, it's a bit naff. If they do it in a very tasteful manner, cool. But I don't know. From what I've seen so far, a lot of the AI, when they get humanized, bit weird. Just tell me, new feature. That's it. Be happy with that.
AI being humanized is weird at first, but I think we're all going to get used to it more and more. I was really freaked out.
You reckon?
Yeah, well, I was really freaked out when I first started talking to ChatGPT, and now Amelia, is just part of my life. But I'm going to flip back to saying I don't think it's going to happen. Sorry, because
my God.
You know why? Jag said Ocado. Have a look at the profitability of Ocado of last year.
No, it can't just be
gone.
Ocado.
Right,
it could also be Tesco or Sano's, or it could even be Morrison's or, M&S. Although I think M&S are focusing more on fashion. So who knows? So, yeah.
All right. Good prediction. Let's see if it comes true. And thanks for the specificity at the end on it. Matt, let's get your next prediction.
Okay. So Felina mentioned a theme for her predictions. I think I've got a theme, which is trust. So we're sticking on trust. And I think that there'll be a major deep fake that tricks the mainstream media. So by December 2026, I reckon there's going to be a very high quality deep fake. And it'll be a video. This is the specific part, which is quite bold. It's going to be a video of a G7 politician, a political leader, and it'll be broadcast as if that leader is real by a major mainstream TV news outlet. So by major, I mean like, CNN, Sky, Al Jazeera, BBC. And after it goes out, it'll then be debunked, obviously. And this will be very embarrassing for the mainstream media. And I think it will have, an effect on editorial trust with mainstream media. There's already a lot of trust being eroded away due to social media. And I think what will happen is, I think breaking news will be looked at in a different way by the mainstream. I think they'll have to slow down their breaking news to try and stop this from happening again. And as a result, they'll get further away from the real life action of what's happening. We've already seen that. I'm not going to go into political reasons or any of my thoughts or reasons behind it, but we've got, at the moment of recording, an uprising in Iran, and that was on social media about 7 days before it finally came out in mainstream media. So there's a big gap. And one of the reasons could be that they were trying to verify the images that were coming out. But I'm getting sidetracked. Let's go back to my prediction. A G7 political leader, so someone from Canada, France, Germany, Italy, UK, or USA in a leadership role or vice. Let me try and expand it a bit so I can try and get this one. So president or vice from one of those countries will be broadcast. It'll be fake. It'll be done by someone outside of G7, and the mainstream media will get caught out. What do you guys think? Is this too bold? Am I insane?
I think it is possible.
Yeah. And also, I was going to say, Grok at the moment is in the headlines for doing deepfakes. A little bit less political, more bikinis, but deepfakes are in the news right now. So it's highly topical, guys.
It's possible. If I had to rank, right, I would say Jack's protein one is like number one in terms of highly probable. This one I would say number two, because it got me thinking about the Kanye West video. Do you guys remember that? The black and white one that apparently was a deep fake.
No.
The one where all the celebrities were wearing the you remember?
Yes, I do know.
All the t-shirts. Yeah. And people actually thought like that was legit. And then it came out later that it wasn't. So that's the reason why I think this is likely, because everyone is so caught up or so focused on being the first ones to deliver breaking news and being seen as like, oh yeah, we're like the first mover, that maybe in the process of vetting, they might overlook something. So that's why I think it would be number two. Don't know about you, Jag.
The G7 countries, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. So either a president, vice president, prime minister, or deputy prime minister from any of those countries. All right.
Yep, number one or number two from those countries.
That's fair enough. I think it's possible. I mean, and you're saying mainstream media. I saw the specifics of it. Basically a mainstream news TV station. Yeah, fair enough. We'll have to, I mean, there's so many news stations now, but we'll debate. If it ends up on GB News, we'll have to, GBBs, as some people call it.
They call it GBBs. That's brilliant.
GBBs.
That, I will use that.
No, come on. GB News counts. I mean, I prefer if it was a big dog like CNN or NBC or BBC.
Let's
Al
see if it
Jazeera.
happens first, and then we can debate the news station. Maybe more points for the BBC and less points for GBBs, for example. But we can cross that bridge if and when we come to it.
Wait, Fox News. They're bound to do it. Why am I not putting Fox News in there? Fox News, come on.
Yeah, Fox is a mainstream. It's mainstream.
In that case, it's gonna happen.
Oh my God.
Right. Do you know what? Why don't we move on to Felina?
Okay, my final prediction is around Apple introducing dumb mode. So, I think that Apple will introduce this built-in dumb mode that temporarily turns your iPhone into a utility-first device. So, when it's switched on, non-essential apps and feeds are disabled. Not just silence, because that's do not disturb. This is properly disabled. So, your phone will only be able to have the basics like calls, messages, maps, and maybe music. So I think this could happen because it fits with tools like Brick, which is a product and a brand. You guys can go look it up. They're making a killing apparently, and just a wider shift in general towards dumber phones. But this enables you to not give up your smartphone and not have, multiple devices where you have to buy add-ons just to make your phone dumb. I also think they might make this optional. So you can switch it on when you want focus or to make your phone dumb, but you can also switch it off if you don't want it. That's it. That's the prediction.
That would be cool for young women. So young girls. So my daughter is coming up to being 8, and I'm worried about her wanting and needing a phone when she's older. And people, parents that are thoughtful of this, they give them burner phones. But I'm aware that a kid's going to be like, I know that I've got a burner phone. I still want that thing I can't get, which is the smartphone. So if it looks and feels like a smartphone, but it's dumb, perfect. I would go for that. Yeah, I like it. Would I use it? I'd probably say that I'd use it, but I would never actually use it. Sorry.
Same.
Yeah.
Would I use it? I don't know. But I think there are many people out there who buy the brick to make your phone dumb. I think they would use it. Maybe. Who knows? Jag.
The thing is, so they already have some features that can dumb down your phone, like focus mode, screen time. But you have to, what I've learned with focus mode is I have to make a continual effort, and it's actually not that easy to use, and I can't customize it so easily day to day, or, and I can't, I think that they could totally improve it if they wanted to. So it leads me to believe that for some reason they don't want to have that. I think they want us to be using their phone more regularly so that they can, sell us more of their wonderful services and keep them in their beautiful walled garden. So I don't think it's gonna happen this year.
Oh, come on. Well, you'll be sorry when it happens. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, I won't be sorry. I'd welcome it, but I just don't think it's happening in 2026. I want it to come true for you, and for the world, but I just don't think it'll happen this year.
Why not this year?
Because they need to focus on their other thing they're going to do this year, which is they're going to launch a folding phone.
That's already been done, the folding phone. No one wants a folding phone.
No.
Not
a
Apple.
Folding iPhone. A folding iPhone.
Wow.
Yes. Brilliant. Well, let's do this, Matt. One more prediction to go.
Okay. Actually, do you want a folding iPhone? Why would you want that?
Actually, in the previous episode, it was one of my predictions, so I kind of need it to come true.
All right, fine. So gimmicky. All right. So my next and final prediction is the rise of the new search king. So this would the rise of AI search, and this is going to shock the world, because this prediction, again, I think it's probably my most bold prediction, is by December 2026, Google's global throne and their search market is going to fall below 80%. And it's currently, I think, just over 90% today as I'm speaking. So it's going to be a big fall because they've obviously owned this space for well over a decade. Am I talking 2 decades? The rise of the new search king is obviously the rise of AI native competitors. I'm talking about OpenAI's search. And I know that that's increasing more and more. Okay, Google is combating it with Gemini, and some of the new versions of Gemini have got really good reviews. But the thing is, OpenAI was kind of first to market, and there's a lot of people that use ChatGPT, and they're not going to shift, they're not going to move. So I think Google is going to lose 10% points of search share, and I think it's going to be historic, and I think it's going to reframe how we look at AI. I think it's already happening. I think AI, the way we use it day to day, will move in terms of it being an assistant to being more of a default interface to the internet. So it's not just going to be this is not just a disruptive prediction. This is about the beginning of the erosion of one of tech's megadogs. And I know a few people that work at Google that are a lot smarter than me. And the search department is worried. And from my personal use, so they should be. So what do you think, Jag? How often at the moment are you using Google for search compared to just asking your preferred AI tool to search your stuff?
So it's a bold prediction, and I really commend you for that again, because I think this time last year, early 2025, the reports were coming out that Google's search dominance had gone below 90% or around 90%, whatever it was. And so for it to fall another 10% from, if those reports early last year to basically to December this year, that would be just shy of 2 years. And I still think it's a bold prediction because it's Google. And what you're saying is it's for the prediction to go below 80%.
Yep.
So we're looking at 79.9%.
Yeah.
And you're correct. It's bold. And, the other reason why I say it's bold is because, Google aren't just going to sit on their laurels. They will combat potential losses in search market share. We've seen it. They fully integrated AI into its core search experience, essentially scraping from websites, robbing those websites the click-throughs that they may deserve by giving a summary result using their own AI. But that still counts as as a Google search, doesn't it? When you type it into Google, so they're not losing the search then.
No,
it's they're losing the search when people are using ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, whatever.
So example. Yesterday, I just randomly was listening to the news, and they were talking about nautical miles, and I thought, what's the difference between a nautical mile and a mile? And in the past, I would have automatically gone to the god that is Google and typed in difference between nautical mile and mile. I didn't do that. I without thinking, I asked ChatGPT, and it gave me the full response with links if I needed it. And it was a better, quicker, easier experience than, and I'm going to say it now with my fingers as quote marks, the old-fashioned way of typing in a search into Google. And I think that's where things are going, and that's why I think this year's the big one, because I don't know which one you're using. I think you're using, do you say you're using Deep Search? Whichever one you're using, I'm using ChatGPT at the moment, and I've noticed in the last, from Q4 2025 to now, I've actually noticed a real difference in its accuracy, its ease of use. I'm really loving using ChatGPT at the moment for things that I used to use Google for. And I've got I'm too lazy to go, I wonder if, I'll use Gemini occasionally, but the first app that I used and I'm now stuck with because I'm lazy is ChatGPT. I'm sure there's lots of people like that because it was the first to market. That's why I'm going to get behind the 80%.
Google might also be suffering from, what they did to their own search product.
Yeah.
Even before AI came along. I think we discussed it before on this podcast that they intentionally degraded search quality in order to increase revenue by essentially forcing more searches to get your answer and then therefore get more clicks.
Yeah.
So they might be suffering from people who've had a couple of years of, Google was great and then it became less optimal. And then now there are things that are just quicker. And even though AI is not right 100% of the time, it's right enough. And on searches like that, difference between miles and nautical miles, you're going to trust what ChatGPT spits out because you're asking it a fact-based question. But then also with AI search as well, it's much more conversational.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it feels more natural. And with Google search, it's not. Because also we've been trained for the past 25 years to search in certain ways.
Yeah.
That even people that started using Google 10 years ago, they themselves have been trained to search in a certain way that even if Google is now updated and you can search in a very friendly conversational way, it's not how people approach their use of Google.
That's true. Is the conversational element is a really big factor. And when the conversational element becomes easy and you've got a bit more trust in the answers that you're getting, it just, the user interface is so easy. So big prediction in terms of the numbers. If I'd have predicted 1%, it would have been boring, wouldn't it? Let's go for 10.
Yeah, no, it's a beefy prediction. And you know what? If it drops below 80%, you won't just get it right, you'll get bonus points for it as well. So well done for being brave on that. Before we close up, you're into the whole health stuff because in a previous episode you made a bold prediction about big pharma for 100 months into the future.
Yes,
and we talked about big pharma. We talked about big pharma earlier in this episode. One of my unofficial predictions is the rise of the hyper-personalized wearables. This is not an official prediction. Apple, they put a heart rate monitor on earbuds, on their earbuds in 2025, and I felt that this was just the opening act. So I think this year, 2026, we'll see wearable devices become even more hyper-personalized with more health related features, more sensors, yes, but more importantly, smarter and more anticipatory AI. So imagine your device is not just tracking a run, but analyzing your gait to predict an injury before it happens, or crafting a personalized workout regime based on your physiology, your age, the recovery data. The holy grail of non-invasive glucose monitoring might still be out of reach, but I predict that AI will make every other metric we currently track far more insightful and actionable. And so I think even existing wearables will get software updates, and we will see more personalized health suggestions and health reports coming through. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think the way that could work to create like a digital twin where the wearable device has got as much information as possible about all your physiology, your biometrics. The way that would work is they would have to give a blood test sample at the beginning. I mean, you can't have a device. I don't think it would sell well if it actually was invasive. So there would be a program where you gave your blood sample to the company or that owns the watch. Again, this bit is the tricky part, to make it really all-knowing about your health so it can give you everything. Because there's gait and there's heartbeat and there's breathing, which can only take a tailored device, a tailored plan for you to a certain level. But to go the extra mile to know, your genetic makeup and your blood, your blood type and everything like that, you're going to have to give up your bodily fluid at some point, whether that happens once a year. But that's the bit that's, I think, going to make it commercially quite difficult, because I'm not sure how many people, apart from hardcore ultra-marathon runners and all those psychos that like to run 100 marathons in 100 days, they'll do that. But would the average Jag or Matt in the street, can we be bothered to? I mean, maybe a saliva swab, because you do that for 23andMe, you do that for National Geographic had a program where you sent them a saliva swab and they told you your ancestral DNA. So, and people did that because they want to find out who their ancestors are. So yeah, if it's a saliva swab you send off to Garmin, yeah, that could work. But you see how I'm kind of becoming I'm a bit dubious about that step of providing your entire information to someone like Garmin or the Amazon Watch or Apple.
I think it depends. So I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with, is there a thing that can be sent to our homes where they take a little prick of blood from our index finger and then that's all they need, like a little drop of blood, and send that off to Aura Ring, and in return they will then send you a free Aura Ring size guide, and then you sign up, you pay your monthly subscription to Aura Ring for the rest of your days. They will replace the ring every few years when it dies, and you'll be so loyal to them because you are maybe happy to give away your DNA once, but then would you be willing to give away your DNA and your very physiology more than once? So would you switch from Aura to whoever else? It's a harder swap.
Definitely.
But doing it the first time, because you mentioned also in a previous episode about you can't play football anymore because of you've got a dodgy joint or something, bad knees. Forgive me if it's something else.
My calf. Still
yes,
buggered. Still buggered.
But, maybe there's a road to recovery there, and maybe them knowing your DNA makeup helps. Even people that aren't doing physical activities, let's say someone is a amateur chess champion and they have issues with concentrating for more than 3 hours, and they want to improve their body in a way that can also help increase their concentration levels, you know?
Yeah, it comes down to trust. I think if you've got something wrong with you and there's a need to correct it and it's kind of affecting your life, then you're going to have to kind of dive in and give your blood. In the UK, when you give your blood to the NHS, that trust is there. The NHS brand, the NHS Institute. I've given blood to the NHS. I'll give blood to the NHS. Would I give my blood to Garmin? No, not even to get back on track playing football. No, I won't give my blood to Garmin unless I had a respiratory problem or there's something that was really affecting my health that the NHS can provide any assistance for. Then I would reluctantly, but with my arm behind my back, squeeze, twisting my arm, I would then reluctantly give my DNA to Garmin. And that's my personal thoughts, but I think a lot of people are like that. If you think about the UK, the digital ID card, I think Keir Starmer's about to do another U-turn on that. But when that comes out, I mean, in Brazil, everyone has an identification card. It's not a big deal. It's a cultural difference. But in the UK, nobody wants to everybody's got this privacy problem, not problem. There's just a culture of protecting privacy and not wanting to give all your information to the man. And so I think even the digital ID card for the UK is being shelved, perhaps. So that's why I'm thinking the UK in particular, I'm not giving my blood to Garmin. I don't think many people are. Maybe it's different outside the UK.
I think you've touched upon something there with regards to attitudes to privacy. And people get personally offended if they have to carry around a ID. The UK example you've given, they hark back to show me your papers of Nazi Germany.
Yeah,
but those same people will grant TikTok and Instagram, not picking sides, complete access to all their photos, everything on their phone. And if you travel to certain countries, which I have done, you have to give so much information, ridiculous levels of information, and visit the local consulate before you even get the visa granted. And you have interviews and they know everything about you, your loved ones, your siblings, your parents, everything. And so for me, and I guess maybe because I've worked in digital and social for so long, I feel like I've not got anything to hide.
You've given it all already.
Yeah. So if I give my blood to Aura, I mean,
I'm apathetic like that because it's like I've got nothing to hide. I've kind of given over lots of information. I don't care. I click yes on cookies on every website. I couldn't give a damn.
Oh, just easier. I agree.
Yeah.
Because if I do the manage cookie, then it's an extra pop-up and it's like...
So I haven't got time and I'm a bit apathetic towards that. But there's many people who are different, who think differently, who do get their underwear in a twist when it comes to providing their information. And so... yeah, so it limits the commercial success of your side prediction, side chat, or whatever you want to call it. That's all I'm bringing up. It would be awesome, but invasive, required for the full breadth of knowledge that device can have on your health. It is going to need to look at your blood. That's a problem, and then who's holding on to that data? That's the second problem. And I keep mentioning Garmin because Garmin do the popular watch, which you can. My wife has it, and it shows her when to train, when not, what type of runs to do if she's training for a half marathon or a marathon. I don't know who owns Garmin. I've got no idea. I mean, I could do a quick search now, but I don't want to give.
I'm sure it's not a soulless corporation. I'm sure it's
not. No, I'm sure.
Ben and Diane Garmin, brother and sister, started it together, running it like a small business.
And it all went wrong, and Ben left.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think we'll wrap it up there today. But you did use the word apathetic, and then it reminded me. What's the saying? Apathy is the death of democracy. Apathy is the enemy of democracy.
Yes.
Apathy is the acceptance of the unacceptable. Apathy is the enemy of progress.
Yes.
There's others.
So we're the enemy of progress, Jag, because we're apathetic about our digital data.
Are we, or are we just not fighting the future and embracing it?
I like
we'll leave
that.
it there.
We'll leave it there.
Yes. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Felina. This has been a great predictions episode. Prediction season is officially done. We will come back and review our homework in December, and we will see who is the prediction king or queen. Will I still have the crown, or will we be crowning a new champion? Thank you, listeners. This has been episode 105 of Disconnected, and we'll see you on the next one.